Hey, everybody. It's Bari. I am so happy to be here with you today on this Wednesday. I have a great topic for you today. And so there's a little confusion about where this live is happening. So we run it on StreamYard. So it's happening in the main page. So Christine is here, my assistant, and she's going to help because I think some people think it might be happening on an events page. So while we're waiting for people to attend, yep, okay, yeah. So while we're waiting for people to attend, I want to just get started and let people know who are new because we have quite a few new people joining us today. That again, I'm Bari Lyman and I'm the creator of the Meet to Marry method. And what I do is I help people to break through unconscious dating and relationship patterns permanently so that you can summon your soulmate to enjoy a sweet life with a real partner. Okay, so Christine is, okay, she's sharing the link right now. Okay, so I'm just going to let her know, please share with everyone on the main page. Okay, so while she is sharing, I see a few of you are here with me. So I'd love to know where you are coming from. Where are you coming from? We did a big event on Sunday, and again, we have a lot of new people. And so what we do here is we talk about very important topics related to love, to dating, to having a conscious, beautiful relationship, because that is really what we all want. So I'd also love to know, what is it that you want to learn? What is most important to you? Because we cover the topics that I consider to be myths. I've been doing this for more than 15 years, helping people to have amazing relationships for a lifetime. So I want to see if everyone is with us and if we're ready to go. Here we go. All right. Okay, perfect. And Christine is going to send me any of your questions so that I can answer you. Because you know what? There's a lot of bad advice out there. And it's very important for me that you all have everything you need to really be successful in finding love. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about self-love. Self-love. Is self-love the key to finding love? And so most people think, and most people say to me, oh yeah, like I took a break from dating to learn how to love myself. Or I date people and then I see red flags really quickly. So that is my way of loving myself, that I avoid bad love, right? So that's one level. But how many of you, honestly, because we want to have an honest conversation about self-love, do you ever notice that you say, oh, yes, I love myself. I love myself. But then notice that with that you don't have a partner with you. So often we are saying, I love myself, but in my experience, uh, you know what's really going on? Why so many people are single and struggling? Is that what's really happening is that they're engaging in what I call fake self-love. Fake self-love. So you might be wondering, what is fake self-love? Self-love, fake self-love is when you're running around doing yoga and meditation and uh, therapy and taking long breaks from dating, but there's not an embodiment of real self-love. So we say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. But in our culture, it's almost like just pop psychology. It's like it's like the party line. It's like what we say. I love myself. I love myself. But how much of what we do is really temporary, right? Temporary. Because here's the thing. So do you notice that you do things? Someone told me yesterday, yeah, I walk, I'm going to get more massages. I watch YouTube videos, right? To cover up the real truth, the real truth that she has not been able to solve. And the real thing she hasn't been able to solve is that she is lonely. She's lonely. She's frustrated. She's disappointed. She's even angry. And what does she do? She distracts. How many of you really can relate to distracting? How do you distract yourself from something that is so missing in your life? Love from another human. Now, I'm not talking about your girlfriends. I'm not talking about the love you get at maybe at work or from your kids. I am talking about the hole that we feel that is really missing, that we haven't been able to solve. Because what happens when you get up from that meditation only to realize that you're still lonely, right? And we might say, well, I don't want to admit that I'm lonely. But the truth is, really loving yourself is really admitting your true feelings and your needs. So for those of you who are just joining, we're talking about the difference between self-love, real self-love, and fake self-love that's temporary. So we're noticing that so often we say, I love myself, I do this and I do that. And that is definitely one level. But often we're distracting. How many of you notice helping other people, being codependent on other people, isolating, focusing on everything else? Because fake self-love is when you say to yourself, I love myself, but. So let's do an exercise right now. When we talk about, if I were to ask you where you're holding with self-love, and if you feel worthy of love, what's your initial reaction? What are you saying? Yes, I'm worthy of love. Of course I am. And then what starts to come in? What else comes up like immediately? Where is your soulmate? Where is your best friend? Where is the guy or woman that rubs your shoulders, that sees you, that commits to you, that makes your life so much better? Where is that person? What comes up for you now? Write that down. What comes up for you? Well, what most people say is like, oh, well, maybe I need to lose, 5 or 10 pounds. Do you notice that coming up? Maybe I need to move. Maybe where I live, they're just are low quality people. That what I want isn't here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too quiet, or too shy, too empathetic. Maybe I just am not in the right job. Maybe if you're a woman, maybe you say, oh, men like skinnier women or younger women, right? All of these things come up. So what does that tell us? When we really are engaging in full self-love, there are no buts. There are no buts. Self-love is not smothering yourself with face creams or shopping or distracting yourself to the point that you don't have any time to think, any time to be with your true thoughts. Someone told me yesterday, who's 65, never married, right? That she has an elderly parent she's super, super busy with. She has a teenager, super, super busy with doing this and busy with her career and busy with doing that, but she's never been married. And I asked her about her last relationship and how it made her feel when he broke up with her and really wouldn't commit. And that is when the answer to the real truth came out. She said, I'm not, dating is awful. Dating is like a terrible hardship, finding people. And the truth is that, I've been hurt so many times that I don't really trust in love, or that I could really have it. And that's the truth. She said, why would I want to put myself through abandonment again? But yet, she goes online, she tries on Match, she tries on OkCupid, and she's overtired and overworked and focusing on everyone else. And I asked her, if you could have someone to love you, because when we have a pattern of abandonment and from childhood all the way back, even though we've talked about it in therapy for years, it doesn't matter. And telling ourselves that I'm just too busy for love, that is not self-love. And distracting and focusing on everyone else and other people, that is not self-love, right? Steamrolling your desire for love just won't bring you the person that you really want. So what is self-love? Self-love is an invitation to all of the things that we really, really want. Self-love is not, fake it till you make it. There's one level. It's better. I'm not saying, it's not about being depressed and alone and negative, but there comes a point, and I'm speaking to you, when you realize, you say that I don't really embody self-love. Because in the exercise we just did, if you're noticing that I do think there might be something wrong with me, or it's not meant for me this lifetime. And I speak with people every day. And sometimes when they proclaim, oh, I'm so self-aware, I'm so self-loving, I'm so this, I've done, but they've been alone 11 years single, dating, wrong relationships, men who say one thing and do another. And from a marriage of 20 years where you're putting up with loneliness, trauma, criticism, and then you start looking back at your childhood, and then that was the same. Your father treated you the same way, or your mother. And then we look at the whole thing, and then just saying, I love myself, but here's the thing. It's not a real embodiment, because the deepest, most important craving in a human being's life is connection. It's the most important thing. It's the thing we need the absolute most as humans. You think of a little baby. What does a baby need to thrive? A baby needs physical touch, right? A baby sees its mom, look into your mom's eyes, and you coo, right? That's what babies need. And then as we grow older, we need to feel encouraged. We need to feel celebrated. We need to feel like we're totally okay the way we are. But for most of us, we didn't get that, right? Who can relate to not having received that? And if you haven't received the kinds of love you really want, then it's very difficult for us to grow up and just feel self-loving and confident as ourselves. So we need to create shifts and understand that self-love is something totally, uh, totally foreign, totally foreign. It's not totally foreign to us because we've already learned, right, how to be alone, how to do everything on our own, how to take on life on our own, how to be strong. And when we say, I'm independent, I'm independent, but really saying I'm independent is not the energy of inviting in sweet love. Saying I'm independent is actually kind of repelling to finding love. So we want to change that. We want to open up to an embodiment of real self acceptance and grow in a place, in a way that we understand ourselves, a way that is like an invitation to love. Because the truth is that when we say one thing, I don't need love, I'm independent, I don't need a man. Right, I'm speaking to women now, but it's the same for men. We have men too in our community, and the men have the similar experiences. So when you say, I don't need a man, you don't get one. You don't get a good one. When you say, I don't need one because we have trust issues and blocks because of unresolved trauma, right? And trauma is really feeling neglected, feeling abused, not getting our needs met, putting up walls, trust issues. And these things are not your fault that you do them or that we do that because of self-protection. But there comes a point, real self-love is the understanding that love is our birthright. And if you acknowledge it, and then we create a plan that is separate from the past where we've been bogged down with stories, with unresolved trauma, with betrayal, right? Because of all those things, we put up walls and self-protection, which is not aligned with self-love. Self-love is not self-protection. Self-love at this highest level of vibration that I'm talking about is being an invitation to what you do want and not self-protecting from what you don't. Because you've reached a level of honoring yourself and not just running around doing temporary fixes. Self-love is honoring a vision that you really have for yourself and your life. And it's knowing how to get it, how to bring it in. And that is why, I speak about summoning your soulmate, inviting in the right person, right? So you're not hiding out, distracting, helping other people. Because the truth is, if you want a soulmate who's going to commit to you, who's ready for love, who's totally resolved their patterns, whose heart and deepest vision is to connect with a real partner, but you're over here self-protecting, being busy, overworking, taking care of everyone else, lying to yourself about love, saying I don't need anyone. Where's the congruence? So for those of you who are joining us late, we're talking about what is self-love. And is self-love the key to finding love? And the answer is, it is when it's real self-love and not fake self-love. Because again, fake self-love is only a band-aid. It's only temporary. And I'm not saying that yoga and meditation and past life regression and Tony Robbins and all these great things and reading books, I think they're fantastic. But if they're just making you feel good about yourself and they don't take you to an embodiment that is an invitation to love and what you want, then it's only temporary. So what we're talking about is opening up to being a clear channel to love, because would you want to attract a soulmate who's incomplete, thinking about an ex, avoiding love, sitting home, being overworking, overeating? No, right. So it's like a great example you'll be able to relate to is if a person wants to be wealthy, they want to create financial abundance, then what what do they have to be doing in order to create wealth? If they have old stories about money, like money is bad and having money stories that only greedy people have money, do you think that they're going to get rich or reach their financial goals? Of course not, because there's no real alignment. And the same is true for love. So what you want to do is get real about self-love. Who's with me? Who's with me? Yeah. Okay, here are viewer comments. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I want to see your comments. I want to see what you guys are saying. Yeah. Okay. So Christine, if you could pop in the comments, that would be amazing. So to wrap it up, what you want to do is say, yes, I do want a healthy relationship. I do want that. Yes, I realize that I don't know how to have that because it's so unfamiliar and I've never experienced healthy, conscious love. That's self love. You're not going to hear it out there in the regular world. No, regular world is pop culture, fast, just do this, just do this. But that's not really authentic. You want to say to yourself, I am ready to experience a fully integrated experience of love with a partner and have a real plan and strategy to step into what is so unfamiliar. Because the reason we don't have love with a partner and we say, oh, I don't really need anyone. My life works, everything's great, everything else is fine, but you're really lonely, right? So we want to admit that's really important. And by doing so, that's self love, that's getting real, that's aligned with your true desires. So we stop saying, oh, I love myself as a band aid and really get into next level embodiment. Because achieving healthy love, right, and the sweetness of true healing, not band aids, is really the only path that leads to finding your soulmate and an elevated, true sense of yourself. That's it. And that is, guess what? That's something we can learn. Because if we don't know how to receive, because we're so afraid of losing it and we're so afraid of abandonment, then how can you have it? So we want to build a solid foundation separate from fear, separate from distractions, separate from band-aids, that really does invite in a healthy love embodiment, self-love as you are, and bringing in a beautiful partner. So I know I've given you a lot of information today and plenty to think about. So if you do want to have a plan and you want to discover, like, how do I make this happen fast without excuses? Because someone said, oh, I have this and I have that and I have the other thing and I have this. But that's all fear. That's all distraction. Right? If you want to save time and fast track and just find yourself in a whole different paradigm with a partner, then we can have a conversation about that. So I encourage you to book a Step Into Love strategy call. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at what's really getting in your way, and we're going to get really honest about it and show you a plan to be with your partner so that you're never just too busy. Because like the people I talk to, like I walk alone, I do this alone, I do that alone, I have real friends, I travel with girlfriends, but they don't really want to travel alone. And when they admit that, or travel with girlfriends, and they don't want to be isolated, right? That's admitting, that's real self-love. And that's the path to opening yourself up and to having a much higher vibration that allows you to receive and be contributed to, instead of self-protection, in really self-creation and becoming a creator and having a beautiful relationship for the rest of your life. So if you're tired of going out with emotionally unavailable people and you're tired of wasting your precious time, then, book a call. And Christine is going to drop the call, the link in the chat. It's meettomarry.com/step into love. And tell your friends if you enjoy this real information about real transformation, about what really needs to happen beyond fake self-love. I had someone tell a client before she worked with me, just get out more. Just get out more. That's his solution. She's 55. She's been getting out and she doesn't know love. So telling her just to get out kind of is rooted in making her feel bad and not knowing what to do. So you could be an invitation to love. So tell your friends, invite them to come every Wednesday at noon. And if you're watching the recording, be sure to book a call. So again, I'm Bari Lyman. You deserve love. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I'm really inspired by you. So book your call if that's something you want to do. And I will see you next week at the same time, 12 noon Eastern. All right, guys, have a beautiful day.